Have you ever really stopped to think about all the things in your life, your time, your talents, your possessions, and asked yourself, am I an owner or am I more of a manager? Today, we're going to dive into this really powerful idea called stewardship. We're going to break it down together, piece by piece, almost like a mini course, to really get to the heart of what it means. So here's our roadmap for this little explainer. First, we'll tackle the big question. What is stewardship, really? Then we'll take a look at a steward's inventory. What stuff are we actually talking about managing? After that, we'll explore how this idea is put into practice, uncover the deeper reason why it's a thing, and finally, look at what's described as the ultimate outcome, a very unique kind of joy. All right, let's start at the very beginning. When we throw around this word stewardship, what are we actually talking about? Let's get a solid definition. Okay, this definition is really built on three huge ideas. First, we have the concept of being stewards, which is just another way of saying we're managers, not owners. Second is the idea that everything we have has been entrusted to us, like someone handed you something incredibly valuable for safekeeping. And third, that trust comes with responsibility. We're actually accountable for how we handle it all. This first little phrase is the cornerstone for the entire concept. Think about it like being the CEO of a huge corporation. You manage everything, you make big decisions, but you don't actually own the company. You're a caretaker, right? Appointed to oversee these massive assets that ultimately belong to the shareholders. It's a huge mental shift from thinking of yourself as an owner to seeing yourself as a manager. So, if we are indeed managers, the next logical question has to be, what's in our portfolio? What exactly is on the list of things we're supposed to be managing? This is where the whole idea stops being abstract and gets very, very real. What does this inventory actually look like in our day-to-day lives? And wow, this scope here is, well, it's basically everything. It's not just about money, not by a long shot. This list covers things you can't touch and things you can. We're talking about our time and opportunities, every single hour in the day, every door that opens for us. It's our abilities and possessions. Anything from being good at math to the house you live in. And then it zooms way out to a global scale, including our shared responsibility for the planet itself. Okay, so we've established this vast inventory of time, abilities, resources, you name it. How does a person practically live that out? I mean, how do you actively show that you believe these things are just on loan, not really yours? Well, this theological framework suggests two main ways, two key actions. The first one is faithful service. This is about managing your non-material assets, your time and your talents, by using them to serve and help other people. The second is returning and giving, and this one deals with our material stuff. This often involves practices like returning a tithe, which traditionally means a tenth of your income, and giving other offerings as a very tangible, physical way to acknowledge that your financial resources aren't just yours alone. And that second action, the giving part, it has a very specific purpose attached to it. Within this belief system, the whole point of that financial giving is to fuel the mission of the church, to help pay for its operations, spread its core message or gospel, and support its community and outreach. Now let's go a layer deeper. We've talked about the what and the how, but let's really dig into the why. What's the internal purpose of all this? What is this practice actually meant to accomplish inside a person? This right here is a crucial shift in perspective. Stewardship isn't supposed to be framed as some heavy burden or a list of rules you have to follow. It's seen as a privilege, an opportunity given to us for our own development and spiritual growth. The goal isn't just to be good at managing stuff. It's for the very act of managing to change us for the better. You can almost think of it as a kind of spiritual workout. The whole practice is designed to help a person overcome those natural human impulses, selfishness and that constant desire for more, more, more. And at the exact same time, it's meant to actively build up and nurture our capacity for love and generosity. It's presented as a direct tool for changing our character. So, what's the end game? If someone really leans into this way of thinking and living, what's the final emotional and spiritual result supposed to be? What's the payoff? Now, this is a really fascinating idea. Just listen to where the joy comes from. It's not about the joy of getting more stuff for yourself. No, it says the joy comes from watching others benefit because you were faithful, because you did a good job managing what you were given. It's a joy that's found in the act of giving, not in the act of getting. And there it is. That's the core takeaway. The ultimate reward is completely selfless. It just flips the normal script on its head. It's no longer about what's in it for me. Instead, it becomes, how can what I have benefit other people? The deepest, most lasting satisfaction is found in contributing to the well-being of the whole community, not just yourself. So that leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. If we started to view everything in our lives, our time, our skills, our money, not as an entitlement that we've earned and deserve, but as a profound responsibility that we've been given, how would that change the meaning of absolutely everything?